I am very excited to get started with today's webinar, Choosing the Best School for You. The college process can be scary and stressful, and just in the US, there are thousands of higher ed institutions, and that can be a lot to go through all by yourself. In today's webinar, we're going to help you get off to the right start by going over how exactly to figure out what you're looking for in a school, how to do your research, and then eventually narrow your choices down to those final schools. I'm very excited to be joined by our today's presenters, Sarah Snyder, Stephanie Close, and Maeva Kajo, as they walk you through how to choose the best school for you. So without further ado, I'll pass it on over to them.
Thanks so much, Maxine. Hi, everyone. We're so glad you're here with us today. Embarking on the next step after high school is a big deal. It's exciting, it's full of possibilities, and yes, sometimes it's a little overwhelming. Whether you're feeling confident or still figuring things out, you're in the right place today. The webinar for today is all about helping you take that next step with more clarity and confidence. We'll walk you through the key factors to consider as you explore your options and share tips to help you narrow down what kind of school might be the best fit for you, academically, socially, and personally. So, no matter where you are in this process, this session is designed to support you. We're here to help you move forward with a purpose and a plan. This is our agenda for today. We will be discussing important criteria to look for when searching for the right school. We will be talking about going international for your studies and experience, if that's something that interests you. We will share some very cool decision-making strategies to help you narrow down your choices. We'll be providing you with some college search tools and finally giving you some advice on choosing where to apply. So we have an exciting and full session ahead. We're going to go ahead and get started. First up, we're going to talk a little bit about what to look for when you start your college search. There's lots to pay attention to. So when looking at schools, one of the first things to consider is location. Location plays a huge role in your day-to-day experience, and it's more than just how far away it is from home. Do you see yourself in a big city with lots of energy and opportunities? Or do you think you'd thrive in a smaller town where things feel more tight-knit and laid back? Also, you want to consider the campus environment. Is it a college town where everything revolves around student life? Or is the school part of a bigger community? And don't forget about the practical stuff, like how far it is away from home and how easy it is to get around. Not just the campus, but the surrounding areas too. And look into the public transportation. What are the parking options? And do you need a car on campus? Some schools may not even allow you to have a car on campus. So if that's important to you, it's definitely something you should figure out ahead of time. All of these things can make a big difference in how comfortable and supported you feel. So think beyond the website and truly imagine your everyday life there. Now, let's talk a little bit about money because the cost of college is more than just tuition. When comparing schools, be sure to look at the full picture: tuition, housing, meal plans, and books. But it's also important to think about the hidden costs that don't always show up on the main price tag. Are there lab fees for certain classes? Do you need to buy a laptop or specific software? What about travel? How much will it cost to fly or drive home during breaks? And if you're living off campus, are utilities included in your rent? Also, check out the cost of living in the area, like eating out, maybe groceries, even laundry. Those costs can vary a lot depending on where you are and what part of the country you are in. Understanding the full financial picture early on can help you avoid surprises and help you choose a school that fits not just your academic goals, but your budget too. Now, let's talk a little about how colleges come in all shapes and sizes. Size isn't just a number. It can really shape your college experience. Starting off with campus size. So, smaller schools often mean a close community and supportive atmosphere. It's easier to get to know your professors and classmates, and you have close relationships with them. Smaller schools are normally fewer than 5,000 students. Some well known smaller schools are schools like Harvey Mudd, Amherst, Bowdoin, Pomona, and Swarthmore College. Next, we have medium-sized schools. And medium-sized schools can offer a nice balance of connection and variety. They have a good mix of the smaller school feel, but it also comes with that feeling that is large enough to offer a wide variety of classes, resources, clubs, and activities. Medium-sized schools are normally around 5,000 to 15,000 students. Some examples of a medium-sized school are schools like Princeton, Dartmouth, Northeastern, Notre Dame, and William and Mary. And then you have those large schools. They come with a plethora of resources, tons of clubs, maybe even a stadium-sized sense of school spirit. But they can also feel a little overwhelming if you're not used to big crowds. Large schools are normally above 15,000 students, with some reaching well above even 30,000 students. Larger schools, maybe schools like University of Central Florida, Arizona State University, Texas A&M, University of Maryland, and UCLA. They all have that large campus feel with a large student body. And when you think about the size of the school, the class sizes might also affect that. So you want to keep that in mind. Do you learn better in a smaller setting where you can ask questions and join discussions? Or are you okay in a lecture hall with a few hundred other students, especially for those intro classes? There's no right size, it's just a right size for you. It's about what helps you feel supported, a place where you can stay focused, and a campus that gives you lots of opportunities during your time there. When you're thinking about where you'll spend your college years, it's also important to remember your living space will play a big role in your experience. For many of you, this may be your first time you're living away from home. So exploring the different housing options on campus can help you find the best fit. Most campuses will start you off with traditional residence halls. These are usually what you picture when you think of college dorms. So shared rooms, community bathrooms, and lots of opportunities to meet people. While it might mean a little less privacy, the big advantage is the built-in social network. Living in a dorm puts you right in the middle of the action, making it easier to connect with classmates, attend events, and adjust to that college life. Some schools offer suite style apartment or apartment style housing. They give you more independence with features like private or semi-private bathrooms and bedrooms, shared living rooms, and sometimes even kitchens. While you still have access to campus resources and support, you'll enjoy a little bit more space and privacy, which can be a good option. Normally, these style apartments or suite style housing is after your first year, so you can look into if the college has that as an option. Another option you may see is themed or learning communities. These are residence halls where students with shared interests, maybe in health sciences or leadership or the arts, can all live together. This can be a great way to combine your academic interests and social life, since you'll be surrounded by peers who are focused on similar goals. No matter which housing style you choose, just take time to think about what matters most to you. Do you want the energy of a traditional dorm, the independence of an apartment, or the focus of a learning community? Your living space will shape your daily routine, your friendships, and even how connected you feel on campus. So it's worth exploring these options carefully as you make your decision. Then we have the school's reputation, the programs they offer, and what happens for graduates after they earn their degree. This can be another important factor to consider when choosing a school. A school's reputation isn't just about prestige or rankings. It's also about how it's viewed by employers, alumni, and the community. A strong reputation can open doors, help you stand out in a competitive job market, and connect you to influential networks. It would be good to look into how the school is recognized in your field of interest if you know what you want to do, and what current students and graduates have to say about it. Check the programs they offer. Even the most famous schools might not be the best choice for you if it doesn't have strong programs in the area you're passionate about. Look closely at the curriculum, faculty experience, and any hands-on learning opportunities like internships or research. Make sure the programs offered will challenge you, inspire you, and prepare you for your career goals. Also, be sure to look at the employment rates after graduation. This is a real-world measure of a school's impact. High employment rates often mean strong career services, industry connections, and career-relevant programs. Take time to research where graduates are working, what type of jobs they're getting, and how quickly they are finding them. This can give you a sense of the return on your investment in both time and money. The right school is the one that not only educates you, but also supports your career dreams, builds that network, and equips you with the tools you need to succeed. It's very normal right now to not know exactly what you want to study or do for a career, and that's okay. You can start by asking yourself, what subjects or activities make me lose track of time? What careers or industries excite me when I picture my future? When you're exploring schools, look closely at the degrees they offer and what they specialize in. Your major is your main area of study, while a minor is a smaller secondary focus. A minor can complement your major or let you explore a different interest. For example, you could be a business major with a psychology minor to better understand consumer behavior. The right major minor combination can give you both depth and versatility. So finding a school with programs that interest you is worth the effort. Colleges also differ in curriculum design. Some follow a structured path with a set course for your desired major, and others, like Brown University, offer an open curriculum with much more flexibility where you can take many classes in lots of different fields based on your interests. Choosing your major and minor is one of the most important academic decisions you'll make, shaping not just your studies, but the opportunities you'll have after graduation. And of course, you want to look into campus life because you're not just choosing a place to study, you're choosing a place to live, grow, and build connections for the next years of your life. Campus life shapes your day-to-day experience outside of the classroom. It includes clubs, organizations, sports, volunteer opportunities, events, and the overall sense of community. A vibrant, supportive campus can help you make friends, discover new interests, and feel connected to the school. Think about if you want a smaller, close-knit community where everyone knows your name, or if you're looking for a large, bustling campus with endless activities. As part of exploring campus life, check out the athletic opportunities and activities each school offers. Whether you're a competitive athlete, interested in intramural sports, or just looking for fun ways to stay active, these programs can add balance and energy to your college experience. And it's not just about the sports. Think about clubs too. They're a great way to meet people, relieve stress, and build a sense of belonging. Even if you've never played on a team or been in a club before, college is the perfect time to get involved and try something new. And many times the college websites list all the different clubs and activities they have that you can check out. And if you're able to go to some colleges that you are interested in, walk around, take a student-led tour, or even do it virtually on their website. But get a feel for the campus environment, the students there, and the atmosphere. Is it somewhere that you instantly love and connect to? Or right away, do you know it's not the place for you? You can tell a lot about the right school fit just by doing that vibe check. When I was looking at schools back in the day, I didn't know what I wanted to major in when I was making my decision on where to go. So that didn't factor in for me as much, but I chose my college because it just felt right when I was there. As soon as I stepped onto the campus, I knew I wanted to be there. It felt like home. I couldn't explain it, but compared to the other places I visited, I knew this is where I was going to go. So if you were able, the in-person college tours can definitely be worth it. Having the right support can also make a big difference in your success and well-being when you are away at college. Support services can include academic advising, tutoring centers, writing labs, mental health counseling, disability services, and mentorship programs. There are resources that are there to help you navigate challenges, build those skills, and stay on track toward your goals. Colleges have many different types of support services, so this is something to look at carefully for each school that you are interested in. Also, explore the school's career services section of their website. Strong career centers offer resume workshops, mock interviews, job fairs, networking events, and connections to internships or co-op programs. Some even track employment outcomes so you can see how past graduates have done. When you're researching schools, you ask yourself, does this college provide the support I need to thrive academically and personally? And will the support and career services give me the tools and connections to launch into the future I'm working toward? Campus safety is also another very important thing to look into because feeling safe where you live and study is essential for a positive college experience. That's why it's important to understand the community the school is located in and the school's campus safety protocols when making your decision. Look into things like campus security presence, emergency alert systems, well-lit pathways, secure residence halls, and even late-night transportation services. Many schools also have safety apps or escort programs to help students get around campus at night. You can also check any school's annual safety report to see statistics, policies, and how they respond to emergencies. If you want to jot this website down, https://ope.ed.gov/campus safety. It is a great website designed by the U.S. Department of Education, and it provides rapid, customized reports for public inquiries relating to campus crime and fire data. A safe campus environment means you can focus on your studies, enjoy that fun campus life, and feel confident about your well-being, both inside and outside of the classroom. And if you find a college that truly checks all your boxes and then some, you might want to consider applying through early decision or early action. Early decision is a binding agreement. If you're accepted, you're committed to attend that school and must withdraw your other applications. This option is for students who are 100% certain about their choice and ready to make that commitment. Early action, on the other hand, is a bit different. It is non-binding. You still apply early and you will get your decision sooner, but you're not required to commit right away. You can wait until you hear from other schools and use the regular decision deadline to choose. So, what are the benefits? Applying early can show the school you're serious and invested in being there. And in some cases, it can improve your chances of acceptance. Plus, you'll have your answer sooner, which can make the rest of your senior year a little less stressful. If you're thinking about these options, be sure to talk to your school counselor. They have earlier deadlines that usually fall in November, so you want to be sure that you are ahead of that if that's something that interests you. And lastly, two opportunities that can truly shape your college experience and your future are internships and studying abroad. Internships give you real-world experience in your field of interest, help you apply what you've learned in class, and can even lead to job offers before you graduate. Look for schools with strong industry connections, those career services that help match students with opportunities, and programs that offer credit for internship work. And then there's studying abroad, which lets you experience education in a completely different setting. Whether it's for a summer, a semester, or an entire year, you build global awareness, gain cultural understanding, and develop more independence. Many employers value these skills as much as academic knowledge. When comparing schools, see what options they offer. Don't just look at a list of the programs, but investigate how accessible they are to students in your intended major. The right school can help you turn these opportunities into life-changing experiences. With that, I'm now going to pass it over to Maeva to talk to you about how studying in another country can shape your future career and personal growth.
Thank you. Something else to consider when planning your college journey is whether gaining international experience is important to you. If it is, there are several exciting ways to make it part of your college journey. The first option is attending an international university. You can get international experience by enrolling directly in a university abroad. That's what I did. I came to the US from Cote d'Ivoire to attend college, and I made that decision because I attended an international high school, so I was already familiar with the US college application process. I wanted to explore my options, and I was targeting colleges that had co-op programs, which would allow me to try different career paths before committing to one career. And I had the support system because I had family in the US. Option 2 is studying at a US college with international campuses. If you want to earn a US degree but still want the opportunity to live abroad along the way, look for colleges that have campuses overseas. Many of these schools offer academic experiences across multiple countries and give students a chance to live and learn in different parts of the world while staying within one academic system. For example, you could spend your first year in New York, your second in Paris, and your final years back in the States. It's like building your own academic world tour. Option 3 is participating in a study abroad program. If moving abroad full-time feels overwhelming, study abroad programs are a shorter and more flexible way to get international experience. This can last a semester, a summer, or even just a few weeks. But even in that short time, you'll gain new perspectives, new friendships, and new stories you'll tell for the rest of your life. Now let's dive deeper into attending a college abroad. Everything you'd normally consider when choosing a college still applies here, but there are some factors to focus on when looking for a college internationally. First is location and language. Start by researching countries or cities that interest you and dig deep into how things work there. Think about the academic structure, the environment, how accessible it is from your home country, cultural fit, career potential, and local systems like transportation and healthcare. Going abroad could be a great opportunity to learn or become fluent in your new language. You could do your degree in a different language, or if you prefer, many universities abroad offer programs in English, even in countries where English is not an official language. Secondly, there is your major or field of study. Many international universities often have more specialized programs with less flexibility to switch majors without starting everything over. That means you usually need to have a clearer idea of what your major would be before enrolling. But if having academic flexibility and interdisciplinary courses is important to you, then you should prioritize colleges that have more flexible curriculums. Another option is to attend American-style colleges abroad. For example, the American University of Paris offers liberal arts programs with the flexibility to explore multiple fields, switch majors, or even design your own academic path. Then we have admission, tuition, and financial aid. Every country has different application processes and timelines, often very different from the American system. You would need to understand academic requirements, paperwork, and entrance exams. It's also important that you review the cost of attendance. Tuition is often higher for international students than local citizens, but may still be lower actually than the average US tuition in some cases. Additionally, some degrees abroad only take 3 years to complete, which can reduce costs. It's also important to explore scholarships, grants, and fellowships both in your target and home country, and check if international students are allowed to work part-time during their studies, if that's something that you're interested in. Also, make sure that the schools you're looking at are fully accredited, so your degree will be recognized by employers, grad schools, or licensing boards in your home and destination countries. Lastly, consider the immigration process for students. Before applying, research how the immigration systems works for international students in your target country. Specifically, look into the visa application process, cost and timeline, what your student visa allows you to do, renewal requirements and compliance, and what your university would provide in terms of support services for housing, healthcare, or insurance, and which path exists after graduation if you like to work more in this country or go home, and the general attitude towards international students and workers in that country. Next, let's talk about US colleges that offer international campus experiences. Those international locations offer students opportunities to study abroad at the international locations for a semester or longer. You have access to global internships and service learning programs, and the opportunity to participate in cross-cultural academic projects and exchange programs. Let's look at a few standard examples. New York University, based in New York City, has campuses in Abu Dhabi, Shanghai, and Florence. Temple University, based in Philadelphia, offers programs in Italy, Japan, and Spain. Webster University in St. Louis has a wide international presence with campuses in Greece, China, Switzerland, and the Netherlands. Pepperdine University, based in Malibu, has international campuses in London, Flores, Buenos Aires, Lausanne, and Heidelberg. And lastly, Northeastern University, based in Boston, has a campus in London where students can pursue a unique US-UK double degree in just 4 years. There's also study abroad. So study abroad programs broaden your understanding of your major and the world. You can experience new cultures, build international connections, professional experience, and strengthen your language skills, which can give you a career advantage. When looking at universities, be sure to explore the study abroad offerings, support services, financial aid options, because these elements can make a huge difference in how accessible and enjoyable your experience will be. First, review the cost and financial aid available. Typical costs for study abroad include tuition, travel, accommodation, visa fees, and daily living expenses. But there's also hidden costs such as currency exchange fees, local transportation, books and supplies, or optional activities. Many universities can also offer to help you or actually have their own scholarship and grants for study abroad to reduce these costs. Next, we have program length. Study abroad programs can be as short as 1 week or as long as a full semester. Some even offer summer sessions or academic year options. Choose a college that has various program length options that could work for your academic plan or personal comfort level. Next is academics. Check how courses you take abroad fit into your degree requirements. Ask questions like, will the credits transfer seamlessly? Can you fulfill major, minor, or elective requirements while you're abroad? Or if you're doing a service learning program or project, look at the learning outcomes and impact you would have. Lastly, we have immersion opportunities. Explore the cultural experiences too. Read students' testimonials, watch the program videos, and look for opportunities such as homestays with local families, language immersion classes, community engagement projects, and cultural excursion and fieldwork. Now I'll pass it on to Sarah to tell us how to decide where to go.
Thank you, Maeva. We're going to look at 5 decision-making strategies that can help us take all these criteria and figure out what to do with it. We got some great points from Stephanie and Maeva for considering what we want to get out of our college experience. So many great categories to think about, but so many, right? When they all sound important, how do we narrow them down to what really is the most important to me? Well, we're going to walk through 5 different decision models that you can use in that process. There are other models, and you might find you want to combine some of these. Oh, that is great. What we're going for here is a jumping off point, a place to start with thinking through our priorities. Our first model I call need it, want it, nope. In the need it group, we apply what we call positive filters. We include things we need a school to have for it to feel like it's a good fit. For example, we might need it to have the major we want, a low cost, a location on the beach, and on-campus tutoring centers to support our academic weaknesses. Those would go in the need it group. In the want it group, we include those things that would be icing on the cake. There are features we would love for the school to have, but we'd be okay if it didn't have it. For example, we might want it to have a strong athletics program so that we have good teams to cheer for, a highly active Greek culture, and an early acceptance process so we can make our own decisions ASAP. We would still be able to succeed without those things, but all other things being equal, these could maybe tip the scales for one school over another. So we put those in our want it group. Last, we have the nope category. Here we apply negative filters. What features that could either be present or absent would cause us to eliminate a school no matter what else it offers? What are your deal breakers? For example, it might be a deal breaker if you don't feel at home on your first campus tour, or the school isn't internationally known. Those would be nope factors. Listing the criteria like this can highlight for you what is most important, the things you need and the deal breakers, as well as what might help make a difficult decision between similar opportunities easier to make. Our second strategy is called pairwise comparison. With this strategy, we're going to pair up the categories that Stephanie and Maeva shared, adding in any of our own that we might come up with, and choose top priority from each pair. So we're going to make a bunch of different pair comparisons. Each winner from a comparison gets a point, and the categories with the highest score are the top priorities. So let's see what that can look like. Here's a grid of our 12 categories down the left and across the top. Make sure they're in the same order in both lists. We'll compare each category down the left with each category across the top. The gray boxes right here are where we would compare a category against itself. That makes no sense, so we skip those. The blue boxes, which we have right here, are the duplicates of these yellow boxes. Every category gets compared against each other category like twice, so we ignore the blue ones. They're duplicates. In the end, what we need to do is compare everything that falls into a yellow box. So if you have 12 categories like we have here, you'll have 66 comparisons to make. It sounds like a lot, but it should go pretty quickly because we're just thinking about 2 categories at a time. On the right, you see our space for tallying up the winners. Let's start by comparing the availability of extracurricular activities to the other categories. So we'll start with activities versus campus life. They're in that green box. This is our first comparison. We're looking at nothing else. Let's say that campus life wins. That's more important to me than what the activities are. Well, we would give campus life a point. Next, we would compare the extracurricular activities to cost. Let's say cost is more important to us. Well, then we give cost the point. And so on until we have made every comparison and given the winner a point. Then we add up the scores on the right there and prioritize those with the most points. In this case, we see that the top 3 priorities would be perspective, like how we feel about the campus, location, where it is, and campus life. Our third strategy for narrowing the field of colleges is a scenario simulation. With a scenario simulation, we are painting a picture for ourselves of a hypothetical comparison between 2 things. Each scenario asks you to choose between 2 schools that differ based on specific criteria. Rather than thinking about each criterion in isolation, like we did with the piecewise strategy, we're challenged to weigh 2 priorities against each other in the context of a reasonable trade-off scenario. In walking through this exercise, you might find some trends in your responses that will point out your highest or lowest priorities. Let's try this with 2 different scenarios. Scenario A. College A has the exact major you want and a strong academic reputation, but the social environment feels very competitive, and you didn't feel very welcomed on the tour. Meanwhile, College B offers a broader major in the same field, but not your exact specialization. But the students and campus vibe felt warm, supportive, and collaborative. Which school feels like the better fit for you and why? Contemplate what your answers tell you about which categories are most important. Another example scenario, College C is a prestigious university that costs significantly more than your other options, even after financial aid. You're likely to graduate with some debt, maybe a lot of debt. College D, on the other hand, is a well-ranked regional school that offered you a scholarship covering nearly all expenses. You're confident you could do well there, even though it's not as nationally known. Which school would you choose and why? What factors are pushing you in that direction? Consider whether name recognition and future networking opportunities that might come with College C are worth the price tag. So you can create your own scenarios like this with any priorities that you want to compare against each other. All other things being equal, which school would you choose if school A had X and school B had Y? Up next is performing a values alignment. To complete a values alignment, you write a short paragraph or a bullet list of what success, happiness, or growth in college look like to you. Here's an example values exploration. When I think about what I want from college, I imagine a place where I feel challenged academically, but also supported. I'd like to be involved in a few clubs or activities that help me develop leadership skills, and I want to be somewhere that feels safe and welcoming. I also care about graduating with as little debt as possible so I can start my career with freedom and flexibility. So based on the values this student shared, they might identify their top priorities as student support services, campus life and activities, and cost. Our last strategy can be especially helpful for visual processors. While several of our other strategies involved color, this one is focused on it. With the color coding strategy, we apply a color, green, yellow, or red, to each of our criteria. The green are the criteria we feel most strongly about. The red are those we feel least strongly about. And the yellow are those we have some preference about, but not as strong as those in the green. This exercise can help us see visually which criteria could be our strongest decision makers. Here's an example of how you might label our categories, how you might put them into the 3 groups. Try not to have more than 3 to 5 criteria in the green category, because if you do, you're not really narrowing it down too much. You might want to apply some of the other strategies to make them a little more green or a little less green. Many of these strategies can be combined, like I just mentioned. For example, if you had too many greens, you could use the pairwise comparison just on the ones in your green category to narrow them down. Now, Maeva is going to walk us through some tools that can help us find the colleges that match up with our priorities now that we've narrowed them down. And then I'll come back to talk about thinning the options to a manageable group to actually apply to.
So where do you do your research? The most reliable and up-to-date information will always come from the universities themselves and their website. But to complement that, there are plenty of reliable tools, such as the one we're going to review today, the Priestess Reviews College Search Tool and niche.com College Quiz that can guide you and personalize the process. Let's start with the Princeton Review. This tool helps you filter and explore over 1,500 colleges based on your preferences. We start at the college search page. When you get to this page, you see that there's a lot of filters you can use to create your own criteria, such as state, major, tuition, and admission. Let's say you're interested in a business administration major. And that you like to go to school in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, or New York. And as a third filter, let's say that you want to go to a school that has Model UN. Once you have set your filter, scroll past this list of featured schools to get to the list of schools that were generated by your filtering. Let's click on New York University as an example. So once you click on that, you get to the college profile. And what I really like about this is that there's a section for each category you could want to learn about. And when you go to some of the sections, you have what students say, which is a paragraph that gives you more info on the student experience. If you go through this and you figure out that this is a school you might be interested in, scroll back to the top and click Save School. That would go into a list of Save School under your account. So you go to your account, School Planner, and here all the schools that you have saved will be here, so you'll be able to revisit the college profile and compare them to each other. Another fun feature of this tool, if we go back to the college search page, are the curated lists that you can see over here. These lists are a great way to discover schools that you may not have considered. For example, this best value colleges rankings would send you to ranking lists for best value colleges based on different categories like internships and alumni network. Next is niche.com's college quiz, a fast and fun way to get personalized college recommendations. We start the quiz by clicking Take Our College Quiz. The first question is about location, so where do you want to go to school? Here as examples, we have Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, Texas, and Virginia. We click Continue. Second question is about academics. It's asking for your high school GPA. We have 3.5 as an example. We click Continue. The next one is about whether you took the SAT or the ACT. I selected SAT. Next is asking for your SAT score breakdown. As an example, we put 520 for math and 560 for reading. We click Continue. This section is asking about your preferences. So it's asking what's most important across these categories. And for best results, you should set 3 to 5 priorities. So for priorities, we set academics, diversity, professors, campus food, and campus. And then we set our other categories. So put athletics around here, value around here, policing over here, dorms here, student life here, and local area around here. And safety will be here. Then after you set all your categories, you click Get Results. So the college quiz applies your preferences to a vast database of colleges. And as you scroll, you can see all of these colleges you were matched with. You can also edit your preferences if you like to do that after taking the quiz, and filter further based on other categories like college type, major, and online friendliness, costs, and more. Other resources that could be useful if you're looking for schools internationally is virtual tours and information sessions. Many schools will have virtual information sessions for you to get a feel for what the environment of the school could be like without traveling. You should also keep an eye out for college fairs in your area because many international universities may send representatives or counselors to meet with you. A second resource are countries specific databases. Some countries maintain a centralized database of their universities to help students explore different programs. There's also global university search programs, which help you compare schools across multiple countries, such as studyportals.com and topuniversities.com, which are great for rankings and university profiles globally. For study abroad programs, there's also third-party program providers. Let's say you found a great university, but they do not offer the type of study abroad programs you're interested in. You still have the option to go through a third-party provider. But one important thing to remember is to always confirm that the credits from these programs will transfer back to your chosen university. And examples of third-party providers includes IES Abroad, which has programs in over 30 locations. And there's also Semester at Sea, which is a cruise ship-based study abroad program during which you can visit multiple countries in one semester. And I hand it back to Sarah.
Okay, so you have your criteria that Stephanie and Maeva shared with us. You've used some decision-making strategies to narrow it down. You've used those tools to identify the schools that have the priorities that you're looking for, but I would imagine that you still have a great big list. How do you narrow it down to the ones you actually want to apply for? Because remember, it takes time and money in most cases to apply to college. So here are a couple extra criteria you might want to consider at this stage. What does their admissions process look like? Do you meet all, some, or none of their requirements? Here you're looking at things like minimum GPA, minimum ACT and SAT scores, if any. If you haven't taken the ACT yet and you'll need to, or are you willing to, or should you eliminate that school from your list? And then there's accreditation. Who are they accredited by? Will it impact your future decisions? It really depends on your field whether an accredited or unaccredited degree will matter. But if there's any chance you'll transfer schools, it's very difficult to get credit for classes taken at an unaccredited school. My freshman year, I went to an unaccredited school in Florida. I loved it, but it was really, really far away from my home back here in Colorado. After my first year, I transferred to the University of Colorado, where I eventually finished my education. But getting that year of classes to count at CU was a lot of work, and there's no guarantee they'll ever transfer when you do that. If you aspire to continue your education into graduate school, medical school, law school, you might want to start looking at the admission requirements of those schools now. If they require that your undergraduate degree come from a specifically accredited school or be in a specific field, you'll want to know that now, not after you paid for a degree that it turns out doesn't get you where you thought it would. As you're looking at this new round of criteria, you should start thinking of each school you're interested in as falling into one of these three categories. First, we have our safety schools. You can think of these like your base camp. These are schools where your own academic profile exceeds that of the average admitted student. When you're looking at their admissions requirements, for example, you feel almost overqualified. The chances of you being accepted to these schools is pretty high. You'll also find these schools often offer good financial aid options. This might be your start here on a budget option too, before transferring to a school that better meets your top priorities. I live in Colorado, so supposing location is really important to me and I don't want to go too far away, I might look at the community and state colleges around here and put those in this category. For example, the Community College of Denver or Pikes Peak State College would be good safety school options for me. Second, we have our match schools. You can think of these like your climbable peaks. They're a little challenging, but totally doable. Here, your academic profile closely aligns with the average admitted student. You're a strong candidate, admission chances are realistically positive, and the school matches your other top priorities. For many people, these would be schools more along the lines of state universities. Here in Colorado, that would be schools like Colorado State University in Fort Collins, University of Colorado in Greeley, and the University of Colorado in Boulder. They have higher admission standards than the community colleges, but they're also likely to meet more of my top priorities because they are bigger schools. And third, we have our reach schools. These are the strenuous hikes to the summit. You probably need a little something extra to get there, but it's still worth a shot. These could be harder to get into either because your academic profile isn't quite up to that of the average student, or they have a more competitive application process in general. These are your more elite and often private schools. In Colorado, that's Colorado College. It's a prestigious private school with a whole lot going for it and a really big price tag to pay for it. But here again, you might find better financial aid options, so don't let the price tag alone hold you back from applying if it matches your priorities. Altogether, aim to have no more than 2 or 3 safety schools, 3 to 5 match schools, and 1 or 2 reach schools. Remember, it takes time and money to apply for college, so don't go overboard. We all wish you the very best with your college selection and application process, start to finish. Just take your time to find the right schools for you and be intentional about your application choices. Be reasonable, but don't forget to dream too. You can do this. I'll hand it back over to Maxine.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It doesn't look like we're going to have time to go through some questions today, but I did want to pass on some resources to you. So on our screen right now, if you scan this QR code, that will bring you directly to our college readiness and management series that we've done in the past. So this kind of goes a bit more in depth to that college process. So there's a ton of information available for you if you're looking to kind of study up and do some more research on this entire process. If you scan this QR code, you'll also get access to a lot of our other webinars through our YouTube channel. So please do keep that in mind and please take a look at those. And additionally, on the next slide, we have all of our socials. So feel free to follow us there. That way you can see what different webinars we have coming up or kind of events that we're going to be hosting. And again, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today. What we're going to do is we're going to send a follow-up email that will have a recording of this webinar alongside the slides for you to kind of review at your own time. I know there were a couple links included in there. Thank you so much for joining us today, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of the afternoon.